Just like to make a comment that I went most of my life thinking that different was wrong. If people were different from me, they were wrong. And reading the color code really turned that around a lot. And when my wife and I were dating, we read this together and we studied this together, and it's made a real difference for us because we understand each other where we might not have understood a lot of the differences otherwise.
Takes a lot of stress out, doesn't it? People, I should have said it as good as he did, and I appreciate that comment. Yellow is beautiful and white is beautiful. The white has great strength and great calmness and peace. The yellow is enthusiastic, bombastic, energetic, optimistic, happy, and enjoying life. The blue is powerful and intimate and loyal, courageous, sacrificial. The red is courageous and determined and working hard. Do you understand the great strengths? But as each has weaknesses, we want to start working away those weaknesses and enjoy the strengths here. I need the intimacy of the blue to be a whole person. Do you understand that? I'm not a whole person if I'm 45 red, for pity's sakes. I take no pride in being 43 red and 2 blue. I'm ashamed of those blue. Okay. No, I'm sorry. That just slipped out. But can you see how I need to be accepting and kind and gentle and slow to anger and long-suffering like the white? Can you see how I need this desperately? And I need to be able to have some fun. People look at me and say, "Don't you ever have any fun?" And I said, "Yes, I made 43 instead of 42 widgets last week." And they go, "Whoa, that's big time." This guy said, "You're nuts." And I'm saying, "Yeah, but look at what I got over here." Now I feel like I'm doing something. I feel worthy. I feel okay. And this person says, "You're out of your mind." They're at the beach and they're loving. I mean, they're just having fun. And I'm saying, I'm going to work. This is my sickness. I'm going to work and work and work and work and retire and be able to be like a yellow. Now, that don't fit. Okay? Life is passing us by, Reds. Life is passing us by. You know, when your kids look back on your family, are they going to say, "Gee, Dad made all this money," or "Dad was the big shot at church," or "the big shot in the company," or "Dad was this"? Are they going to look back and say, "Gee, I really appreciate how hard you worked, Dad"? Are they going to look back and say that? No, they're going to look back on their relationships. Like somebody was wondering whether they ought to spend this $2,000 and remodel the bathroom or go on a vacation with the children. And they decided it this way. They imagined 10, 20 years down the road and getting a letter from a kid. "We really appreciated how great that bathroom was." Okay? And they thought, no, what's going to make these great memories, these relationship things, what's going to bond us as families is going to be the relationship. And that's where love is. That's where we live. We want to be happy and enjoy each other. Not go through life trying to do things and accomplish things at the sacrifice of our relationships. That's the key here. That's a very important key to happiness. Is this valuable to you? This is one of the most valuable things I have ever learned. It's helped me to understand people in business. If you're going to sell a tractor to a guy and you look at him, I can see the whole sales approach being different. How would you approach the red? With logic and facts and figures and say, "Man, you're going to produce and your production is going to go up and your overhead's going to go down and you make this capital investment and this is going to happen and that's going to happen, etc., etc." Is that true? Would that appeal to him? People are going to love you for doing this, for being considerate and raising the safety. And of course, the other stuff has to fit too, but they're going to really appreciate that. Is that true? And the white, he probably wouldn't even be there. But if he was, how would you approach him? Logic again? And say, "This is going to solve you so many problems you can't believe it." Does that make sense? They don't want problems. This is going to take the monkey off of your back. Can you see that? And all you do is you let the guy ride around the tractor here and he's bought it. Right? The yellow. Let him ride around on that new forklift, and you've got a deal, all right? Can you see how this works? And you've got an irate principal at school, and you talk to him for a few minutes, and you'll pretty soon see whether he's into power, or he's into relationship, or he doesn't want a problem. Can you understand? And you can talk to these people, and you can reach them where they're at. Now, your little boy, if he's into power, are you going to treat him the same way as if he needs a hug and a love? It needs to be a little different. Okay. Question? Last question?
Any one of these colors that your children might be, are any one of them more susceptible to going upside down?
It all depends. I would suggest that the blues are very critical. Now, just say you got a little blue girl, and mom's a perfectionistic person, and dad is real powerful and is into production. All right? Can you see how the little girl, the daughter, could be real critical and really uptight and always worried, feeling guilty and not performing enough? Can you understand? So they could go upside down. These people hold it. They get ulcers. Can you see? They can get ulcers. I know 2 whites that got ulcer problems, stomach problems, because they don't express it. They don't rage. Sometimes it's healthy to vent, isn't it? I don't think we can point to any one particular thing. But sometimes life gets so tough, and we demand so much of ourselves, and we're so perfectionistic and so demanding, and people have such high expectations that we can't measure up. I talked to one guy and talking about this course, and he said, my son, he was top of his class president, great athlete, had scholarships. He now graduated from college and called his father from school and was about to commit suicide. He'd been top athlete, everything, all the way through school, all the way through college, and he just felt like he couldn't tolerate any more stress. He couldn't perform anymore. That people had these unrealistic expectations for him, and that his value was in what he was doing and being top and always being first, and he couldn't take it anymore. And he had to get permission, so he had to see a therapist, and get permission to have that weight taken off him. And Dad had to talk to him and say, son, I love you for what you've done. I don't care whether you're class president. Does he need to hear that? I don't care whether you're a business failure. I love you, and you're okay just like that. The kid only got the message from these red and blue parents. Perform, excel, perfectionistic. You understand? And what he was doing, he became a human doing instead of a human being. And he just couldn't take it anymore. It needs to be a little different. Okay. I hope this has been beneficial to you. The book I'm suggesting that you get is called The Color Code by Taylor Hartman. And there's a lot of really, really good stuff in it. I want you to go home and think about the dynamics and how they affect your relationship from now on. I don't think that you will ever be the same from the time you hear The Color Code. It has changed my life. It has totally changed my relationship with my wife. It's totally changed how I see my children. I can accept my white son. I can accept my red son, my blue daughter. I understand. And I understand how to connect with them better.